Snowfall, Season 6, Episode 10, titled The Struggle. Ladies and gentlemen, grandies and grandettes, it's finally over. The finale is upon us, man. The serious finale of Snowfall. It's been a hell of a ride. 6 seasons. Had its ups and downs. But I think ultimately it closed out how it was supposed to. I was mad, but I wasn't mad. Let's talk about it. All right, so as we know from last episode, obviously Sissy killed Teddy. So we wondered what was going to happen afterwards. You know, were they going to come for Franklin too, seeing as though he was with his mom? We didn't know. We see that he takes hold up in a bar, and you know he's panicking. He doesn't know what to do because obviously he doesn't have his money. He don't know how to get the money. He's fucking. He don't know what to do. He calls Veronique, or she pages him. He calls her, and, you know, he tells her what happened. And she's just like, yo, calm down, blah, blah, blah. As we know, he has this anxiety. And then we see him take a drink, which we never really seen. You know, if you paid attention to the show, you know Franklin has never did a substance. He's never taken a drink. He's never smoked a weed. You know, he's just not that type of guy. So when he takes this, it's the beginning of a wormhole, and he goes down it, and ultimately, you know, we'll get to that part. But he also gets a call from the CIA agent that was Teddy's handler, and he tells him to deliver Ruben. If not, then, you know, they'll be coming for him. So he gets Ruben Hess in the trunk, and I thought it was going to be a twist. I don't know if the KBG, and Ruben was like the biggest letdown aside from Franklin. It was just like, this is all you had? You had no backup. Nobody knew where you was at. You just a one-man band show. And I actually felt bad for Ruben when they were telling him. He's like, Franklin knows. Because, you know, they did him bad. You know, they tortured him and probably just shot him and dumped his body somewhere, you know. And that suits him right because he killed Javi. So fuck that dude. Also, we see that Franklin goes to see Leon. He's trying to get $3 million off of Leon. Leon says, I got $3 million. Franklin says, let me get that. You don't say, can I get $1 million? Can I get $500,000? Yo, just take $500,000, take your kid, fly out the country, and I don't know, man. Live off of that. I don't fucking know. You know, like, just figure something out. But he's trying to salvage properties. He tries to sell Leon this dream. Yeah, I'm gonna get the property and I'm gonna do this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. And it just doesn't work like that. So not only does this suck because he doesn't have a connect, he doesn't have no drugs, and what happened to all the drugs Franklin had? Did he get rid of all the drugs already? You know, I know him and Kane didn't have, I don't know. Maybe Kane got him off. I don't know, because Kane got killed. It fucked up, it slowed up process. I don't fucking know. Everything's just all convoluted because of Franklin. But, you know, Leon's like, listen, man, Sissy wouldn't have wanted that. And he doesn't give him the money, you know, and he threatens Leon, and then he looks around and see all these goons. He's like, oh. We don't see no resolve with Big D, and I hate saying that shit, pause, or Dion. So I'm guessing, you know, us seeing him at the funeral was kind of him kind of like waving a white flag, like, all right, yo, you got it, because he doesn't come back around. Wanda tells Leon that she's going back to Ghana. He gives her some money, and this is the happy ending that we wanted for him. Out of anybody that made it, I would say Leon was deserving of it because Leon was somebody who honestly wanted change, and that's what he got. We see in court, Sissy pleads guilty. She goes on the stand and tries to out that Teddy was the CIA. He was bringing government. She sounds crazy. As crazy as it sounds, it's true. I remember I was watching an interview with Ricky Ross, and he was saying this, and I was like, this dude sounds nuts. But you can believe it. Like, if you can actually believe that stuff, I believe it. You know, it makes sense. Like, it makes sense. But he's looking like crazy. Franklin walks out the courtroom. He gets followed by the detective, and he's like, yo, I know who you are. People might not know, but you were with him. Witnesses seen you, and you get classic Franklin. Yo, Franklin should win an Emmy for this episode, I'm telling you. He had so many range of emotions from start to finish. It was nothing short of classic. But he's like, do something, motherfucker. Uncle Tom ass nigga. I was like, yes, yeah, that Franklin. We see that V is trying to make some moves behind Franklin's back. Franklin was at his mom's house, and we see old man come to see him. I forget Davis's name, I believe. He comes to see Franklin. He tells Franklin, I heard you're trying to sell your property or your investment in the spring property downtown. And Franklin has no idea what he's talking about. So V has one behind his back trying to set up a deal, trying to salvage what they can with what they got. Franklin being bullheaded, and just for the simple fact V behind his back, he's trying to be spiteful. He yokes her up, threatens her, and that was it. V, he goes to the bank the next day to get some money, withdraw some money, and V has taken all the money. She's and went to Splitsville, so she's out. So now he's pissed off. He doesn't know what to do. He goes to see his mom one time, and he's asking her why, and she's just giving him silent treatment. Like, mama, why did you do that? He doesn't ask if she's all right. Yada, yada, yada. He tried to tell her, yo, we'll get you out of here. She ain't hearing none of that shit. She know what it is. At this point, she knows that, excuse me, the Franklin State that she knew and raised is gone. Franklin State is gone. This Franklin is somebody completely different. This is the guy in the. This is Saint. This is a completely different person. She don't even recognize her son no more. So she knows what it is. For the simple fact he's still asking about that money. She's like, yo, nigga, I'm in jail. He goes to see her another time, and he's trying to get her to sign over the house. And she's giving him the silent treatment again, and he fucking just spazzes out on her. You fucking man. Once again, no compassion. How you doing? Nothing. It's still all about the money. And I think she just washed her hand with her. The scene between her and Leon was so heartwarming and felt, because you could see, like, out of all the bad shit Leon done, he wanted to change. He's seen the error in his ways, and this all started with him killing Khadijah's daughter. That was his redemption arc. As you remember, she went and braided his hair there, and was talking to him, and she said, I wish you were my son. I forget, something to the effect of like, yo, Franklin was my greatest disappointment, but you were my greatest surprise. And she was just like, yo, I love you. And he was like, I love you too. And, Leon gonna hold her down. Leon gonna hold Mama Saint down, man, because that's all she got right now. She don't have nobody else. Elton's gone. Jerome's gone. And then I think she saw in that warehouse that time that Franklin was gone, when he said, once you get this money, you'll never see me again. And he was just like, sure. Like, and once then, she knew her son was gone, so she knew she had nothing really to live for. And it's so sad, man. A lot of people were mad at Sissy, but ultimately, she did this for her son, and she did this to redeem her husband. Teddy took everything from her. She listened to Teddy. She went out the state or the country to live with Elton and get out the way. And he comes and kills Elton anyway, and that's fucked up. This is all Teddy's fault. Ultimately, everything is Teddy's fault. If he would have never kidnapped Franklin and Leon and sold to them, all this bullshit probably wouldn't be happening. I'm gonna be honest. So good riddance to him. I wasn't sad to see Teddy go at all. Louise is on the run. She's in a barn somewhere. Shoveling horse shit, working at Yellowstone Ranch. Police, DEA are looking for her. The ranch owners cover for her because obviously they probably like her. And you see her just crying and, just got to live on the run for the rest of her life, just a shell of her former self. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Like, at the end of the day, what's all this for, She's another one to blame because you started all this war, you did all this, you set off these chain of events, and it was ultimately just for the greed of money. But you done lost your husband behind it. You done lost your ranking yourself. Everything is all bad. Also, we see also had a happy ending. He went to Mexico, and then he checked the voicemail he heard from old girl. She's living in, I believe she said Charlotte with the kids. They're doing fine, and he returned to wrestling, and he made it out safe. That's what Franklin should have took. Franklin should have took the money, ran, and just went and lay low and lived a happy life ever after. But man, that greed to do it to you every time, man. So we see that Franklin's investigator has met up with him, and he tells him he's done trying to find Veronique. I think it's been maybe a month or maybe 6 months that went past, and he still couldn't find her. And she was supposed to have had the baby at that time, but there's no hospitals or nothing, so he couldn't find her. But he tells him he's done, and Franklin's obviously upset. But he tells him he has something else, and lo and behold, he found out where Peaches is. And you know, they thought Peaches, the name of the place, I forget the name of it. It starts with an M. Posted in the comments. They thought it was somewhere out the country, but it was actually 25 miles away. But they was thinking, that's so close, he can't be talking about this place. He got to be talking about. And lo and behold, we find Peaches. And man, our worst fears are come true. He actually is a junkie. He looks skinny as shit. I don't know what they did with D-Ray, man. They made him look like a twig. And Franklin wakes him up, and you know, he asks where his money at. He's like, yo, it's in the safe. And he's like, all right, get up, let's go. And Franklin is lit. You know, D-Ray's character is a dangerous man. You got to think he was Franklin's bodyguard, and he was in a war. So this D-Ray is a dangerous man. Junkie or not, he's dangerous. And we see that when he put the gun out. I thought he shot Franklin. Guess he just missed him by, you know, a hair trigger. But Franklin popped him. But then he goes to the safe. He's trying to get it open. Obviously, he can't get it open. He don't got the combination. So he's looking everywhere. He's trying to get the combo. And no, he winds up calling over a lock expert who can get in. And as he's getting in, one of Peaches' friends comes. And he's like, yo, where's Peaches? He's like, oh, yeah, I got him. And he has to shoot him, obviously, because, you know, shit could get out of hand. Miguel hears this, who was the locksmith. His name is Miguel. He hears this. He gets it open anyway. He counts the money. It's about 12 grand in there. And Franklin at first said, yo, you can keep it. And I'm like, oh, wow, Franklin really turned over a new leaf. He like, you know, maybe he's waving the right flag. And Miguel's walking away, and then Franklin just shoots him in the back. I'm like, what a fucking asshole. So I'm like, wow, this is crazy. But yeah, so y'all can stop talking about Peaches now. We finally got the ending. Everybody wanted to know. Peaches is fiend out, and as of right now, Peaches is dead. So stop talking about him, please. I don't hear nothing else about that dude. After that, we see more time elapse. Now, during this whole process, we see Franklin is constantly hitting the bottle. Broad daylight. He's becoming more and more like his dad. And he's just spiraling out of control. Every time we see him, he's running out of options. He don't know what to do. Time and time is going by. And then we see... Yo, it was so much shit in this joint. I'm like, what is going on in here, man? It's just... Like, Franklin just couldn't get a win for the life of him, man. But we see that a year went by, and I might be skipping some stuff, but I'm pretty sure I touched on all the main parts. If I didn't, you know, I apologize. But this is so painful. But we see a year go by, and we see Leon with his jerry curl now. He full of jerry curl. He's walking down the street, and when he's walking down the street, I swear to you, the first thing I thought of, I said, this looks like Boys in the Hood. This looks like the first scene from Boys in the Hood when they were walking down the street. And I think Trey was walking home or something. So Leon's walking up the street, and, you know, obviously he's getting accosted by some neighborhood gangsters. Like, yo, where you from, cuz? He like, yo, I thought Leon was about to pop him. Like, hold on. But, you know, he's like, yo, man, I grew up in this hood. I'm just want to see if somebody home. If anybody living here. They're like, yeah, if that's what you want to call living. And I'm looking at the house. I'm like, who house is it? I'm like, is this Sissy house? Like, who house is it? And then you see him banging on the door, and then we see Franklin, and, oh, man. I know y'all out there were thinking like I was thinking. When y'all first saw it, your heart dropped, and you was like, no. And I believe, was it a year later or 2 years later? Let me know in the comments. I think it was a year later. It could have been 2 years later, but I don't know. But anyway, it seems like Leon took Sissy's advice. She did tell him to go to Ghana with his wife. And I think he took that advice because he looked and smelled like new money. You know what I mean? Like, he looks like he smells good, and he's living good, and You know, he not stressing from the shit in the project. So good for him. But he goes to see Franklin, and we see all the eviction notices on the house, and then we see Franklin's hitting the bottle. He comes to the door. He got a beat up ass wife beater. And it was just so heartbreaking. I'm like, no, he done turned into L-Time. He done turned into the neighborhood bum. And it was so sad to see, man. I was like, yo, what's going on? And he's talking like you ever see them, you ever grew up in a neighborhood and you see them crazy bums, and one of your mans tell you, like, yo, that nigga used to have it, bro. I'm telling you, that used to be the man. You be like, yeah, all right. Them stories be true. Like, that nigga used to have it, but these are what happens. Everybody tells you about what happens when you're in a game. They say you either die or go to jail. They don't tell you the other option. You become a customer. You start doing your own work. I got a friend, one of my good friends I went to school with. 10 years ago, we linked back up, and when I started doing music, he was part of him. He's super nice too. Man, it breaks my heart. But fast forward a couple of years ago, his brother, who was a heavy in the game, I saw him at a rehab because I was taking my brother. He went to counseling. Sometimes the counseling and the rehabs be integrated, just mental health counseling. And I saw him there, and he looked skinny. I'm like, what the fuck is my man doing? I'm like, and then come to find out, his brother, who was my man, pretty much was going through the same thing, and it broke my fucking heart. I swear it did. I was just like, no. But that's what happens. You know, a lot of times when people are bagging these work, that shit get in your pores, and it gets in your system, and you don't even know it. And then you become, you know, or you might start trying it. You know, I remember my man that I'm talking about, he used to pop ecstasy heavy. And then he was popping, and then it was the Molly. It was when Molly first came out. Now, I used to like ecstasy, but I stopped because one of my girlfriends at the time almost died off of it. So I quit cold turkey, and I was like, yo, fuck this. I'm not doing that shit no more. But I remember he brought Molly over in the bag, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? He's like, yo, this like ecstasy pure. And I was like, word, let me try it. He was like, nah. I remember I thank him to this day because he said, nah, you don't want to try this. I was like, all right, fuck it. You telling me not to try it? I ain't trying it. But it's just like he graduated, I guess. And man, I hope you're doing good now, man. Shout out to my man. I ain't gonna say his name. I ain't gonna put him out there like that. But anyway, I'm rolling on that tangent. Franklin is that mumbling bum. He tells Lee to walk to his store. When he was walking, Lee's like, where I'm going. I knew in my head. I know an addict, dude. And my mom's alcoholic, so I already know what it was. They was going to the store, and he was going to ask Lee for some money. And sure enough, yo, you got $10? Lee gives him 20. He goes get the... And shout out to the Boys in the Hood scene. That was like an ode to John Singleton. That was dope. You know, when he was like, yo, they filming the movie. He like, yo, what the fuck they doing here? He's like, yo, they filming the movie. And you see the little boy, the little Ricky, the little version of Ricky throwing the ball up. He got the same jersey. I was like, yo, that's dope, dog. That's fire. That's fire. I believe, honestly, in my heart's of heart, John Singleton is up in heaven right now, in film heaven, smiling down, and he's happy. Because I feel like this is the ending he probably would have had. I feel like this is the ending Snowfall needed to have. When you live in this lifestyle, it's no fairy tales. It's not no happy endings. That's just what it is. You know, and how Franklin said at the end, he said, yo, I feel free. No matter how you might look at me or how you might think of me, I'm free right now. I ain't got the CIA. You know, Franklin was stressed out. He had CIA down his back, man, boy, Scully, this person, that person, his own family. Now he ain't got to worry about none of that. He ain't got to worry about taxes, property. He good. That's why I tell my brother, I got a brother that's locked up. He's stressed out, but it sucks for him because he's young. He didn't get to live his life. But if he was my age, not saying I want to go to jail, but if he was my age, or maybe he was a little bit older and he had to deal with certain things at a younger age. Maybe if he was bought a house or something and he would realize like, yo, I know I'm getting out of here in a short time. If you got a short bid, the best thing you can do in jail, jail probably is better than being on the outside road because you don't have to worry about so many fucking bills. If you got a short bid, I'm not talking about long term. If you got a short bid where you know you got a release date, just go in there and work on yourself. Work out. You can eat good. You ain't got to worry about no bills. You get meals. If you got somebody that's that's giving you commissary, you gonna be living like a king in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what you there for, and like I said, your time. But I get what he's saying. He had no worries. He was kind of happy in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like he went through so much. You gotta think Franklin went through so much. He done killed people. He's not in jail. He's not dead. He got a problem, but ultimately, like he said, in his mind, he's free. He ain't free like Leon's free, but to him, he's free because he had to deal with so much. But it was sad seeing him like that, man. Leon thought the same thing because he was tearing up. And when you sit with these characters for so long, you feel like they're like extended family. Like you get to know them. Power, as much as I love that show, the Power now could never be this. The original Power, yes. You know, obviously when Ghost died, we all felt it because, you know, we were invested in that character. The new Power, not so much. I give two fucks about the Tejada family. They all could get wiped out right now. I won't give a shit about none of them. I was sad when Lorenzo died, but just because he got out, that was why. Because I feel like he had a lot more character arc left in him. And I was like, yo, why get him out of jail just to kill him? That's stupid. And I don't think Monet character would have been so cold towards her husband, even if he did kill her son by accident. That's just how I think about it. But that's just Power, you know. It's trash writing. But I'm sorry. Yeah, that was super emotional, man. It took me a while to do this review. I was just like, is this it? Like, wow, like it's over. Like, it's done. Is this what it is? That was heartbreaking, man. It was sad to watch. I ain't gonna lie. That was almost as sad as it was sadder. Actually, it was sadder. It was sadder than Jerome. This was the last time I felt like this was when Jerome died. I was just like, yo, did they really just kill Jerome? And Franklin's out here on his own. He has no family. He don't got no family. He got nobody. So all his bridges is burnt. The only person he got is Leon. And I love what he said to Leon. I was like, yo, you my real friend. Like you my best friend. And it started off with them and it ended with them, man. You know, Leon was such a good guy. He like, yo, I need your help with this. He trying to get him involved. And who knows? In the spinoff, maybe Franklin cleans up his act and, you know, redeems itself. Who knows? All good things come to an end. And that's just the way life is. Post your comments. I hope you like my reviews of the Snowfall. You can always check my playlists out. We can revisit them. It's the end of an era, people. Yeah. Snowfall to end. Mandalorian came to an end. It's the end of an era, man. Post your comments below. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell. As always, peace, love, and prosperity. I am the Black Abstract. Go to prayforbuffalo.com if you need merch. You can go to manscaped.com. Enter the promo code Abstract if you need some grooming needs. Peace.